I suspected my husband and my sister were having an affair for years, until I saw her phone bill. I'm staring at my sister's phone bill right now, and my hands won't stop shaking. 3,000 text messages to my husband's number. 3,000. In 1 month. I've suspected this for 2 years. 2 years of being called paranoid, crazy, insecure. Every family dinner where they'd sit across from each other, not making eye contact but somehow communicating in a language I didn't understand. Every time she'd show up at our house when I wasn't home. Every time he'd get defensive when I asked why she was always around. Sarah's going through a rough divorce, she needs support. That's what he'd say. That's what my whole family said when I voiced my concerns. My own mother told me I was being ridiculous. They're like brother and sister, she said. Yeah. Brother and sister who text each other more than I text my husband. The worst part? I found this bill by accident. Sarah left it on my kitchen counter after borrowing my laptop to pay some bills. Like she wanted me to see it. Like she was tired of pretending. We've been married 8 years. Together for 12. We have 2 kids, Emma who's 6 and Luke who's 4. I thought we were solid. Not perfect, but solid. We bought this house 3 years ago. We planned a trip to Disney for next summer. We had sex twice last week for God's sake. But now I'm thinking about how distant he's been. How he started going to the gym more. How he bought new cologne. How he'd smile at his phone and when I'd ask who was texting, he'd say work or nobody important. My sister. My baby sister who I helped raise when our parents were working 2 jobs each. Who lived with us for 6 months after her husband left. Who I consoled through her divorce, who I defended when people said she was asking for it because she'd gained weight after having kids. The same sister who started dressing better around the time my husband started acting weird. Who suddenly had money for a new wardrobe and highlights when she was supposedly broke from the divorce. Who would hug him a little too long at family gatherings and laugh too hard at his stupid jokes. I feel like I'm going to throw up. 3,000 messages. That's more than I've texted him in our entire relationship combined. My phone buzzes. It's him, working late tonight, don't wait up. It's 2 p.m. on a Saturday. I scroll through the bill. The messages started 8 months ago. Light at first, maybe 20 a day. Then more. And more. Until this past month when they were texting from the moment they woke up until they went to sleep. I'm such an idiot. Such a complete idiot. While I was defending him to my friends who said he seemed off, while I was making excuses for why our sex life was declining, while I was planning our family vacation, he was building a whole other relationship with my sister. The front door opens. I hear his keys hit the bowl by the entrance. Babe? I'm home early, thought we could. He stops when he sees me at the kitchen table with the phone bill spread out in front of me. The look on his face tells me everything. Not surprise. Not confusion. Just resignation. Like he's been waiting for this moment. How long? I ask. He doesn't answer. Just stands there in the doorway, still holding his gym bag. How long? I scream at this time. It's not what you think. The most cliché thing he could possibly say. I start laughing. Actually laughing. Because what else is there to do when your entire life implodes and your husband gives you a line from a bad movie? 3,000 text messages in 1 month, Derek. 3,000. To my sister. What exactly am I supposed to think? He sets down his bag. Walks over. Sits across from me like we're about to have a normal conversation about our weekend plans. It started as friendship. After her divorce, she was lonely and... Stop. I hold up my hand. Do not make this about her being lonely. Do not make this about me not being supportive enough of my own sister's divorce. Just tell me when you decided to blow up our family. The silence stretches between us. I can hear Emma playing upstairs, probably making her Barbies have weddings. Luke is napping. Normal Saturday sounds in a house that's about to become a crime scene. 6 months, he finally says. 6 months. While I was planning Emma's birthday party. While I was helping Luke learn to ride his bike. While I was trying to get pregnant again because we talked about wanting a 3rd child. I want you to leave. Can we please just talk about this? It's complicated, and Sarah is. Get out. My voice is so calm it scares me. Get out before I wake up the kids. Before I call my parents. Before I do something that can't be undone. He tries to reach for my hand. I pull it away so fast I knock over my coffee mug. The ceramic shatters on the floor, brown liquid spreading toward his feet. This isn't how I wanted you to find out. How did you want me to find out? At Christmas dinner? At Emma's graduation? When exactly was the right time for me to discover that my husband and my sister have been lying to my face for months? He has nothing to say to that. Nothing at all. I hear a car pull up outside. Through the window, I see Sarah getting out of her car. She has a bag with her. An overnight bag. She's coming here. To my house. While my husband and I are having this conversation. The audacity is breathtaking. I suspected my husband and my sister were having an affair for years, until I saw her phone bill. I'm staring at my sister's phone bill right now, and my hands won't stop shaking. 3,000 text messages to my husband's number. 3,000. In 1 month. Derek left that day and never came back. Not to fight. Not to explain. Not to see the kids. He just left. Like 12 years meant nothing. Sarah tried to call me that night. Then my parents called, confused about why I was being dramatic about Derek moving out. Apparently he'd already spun them some story about us needing space and working through some issues. He didn't mention the affair. Of course he didn't. But I told them. All of it. The phone bill, the lies, how Sarah was supposed to come over that same day with an overnight bag while our marriage was imploding. My mother went quiet. My father hung up. The next morning, Sarah showed up at my door crying. Actual tears. Telling me she was sorry, that it just happened, that she never meant for me to get hurt. Like she tripped and fell onto my husband's DCK for 6 months. You're my sister, she kept saying. You're supposed to forgive me. I closed the door in her face. The divorce papers came 3 weeks later. Derek wanted joint custody. He wanted half of everything, including the house I'd put the down payment on with money from my grandmother's inheritance. The same grandmother who'd helped raise Sarah when she was little. His lawyer was good. Really good. Better than mine. Turns out when you're planning to leave your wife for her sister, you get your ducks in a row first. He'd been moving money around for months. Small amounts I never noticed. He'd even opened a credit card in his name only and maxed it out on God knows what. The custody hearing was brutal. Derek showed up looking like the perfect dad, talking about stability and consistency. His lawyer painted me as unstable, emotional, unable to co-parent effectively. They mentioned my hostile behavior toward family members. They mentioned how I'd isolated the children from their aunt. I lost 50-50 custody. Emma cried when they explained she'd be spending half her time at Daddy's new house. Luke didn't understand why I couldn't come with them. Because Derek moved in with Sarah? Of course he did. Into the apartment I'd helped her find after her divorce. The one I'd co-signed the lease for when her credit was shot. My kids now spend half their time in a home where their aunt is playing house with their father. Where the woman who taught Emma to braid her hair and bought Luke his first baseball glove is now Daddy's special friend who makes breakfast and reads bedtime stories. Emma asked me last month why Aunt Sarah lives with Daddy now. How do you explain that to a 6-year-old? How do you tell your daughter that the adults she trusted most in the world decided their feelings mattered more than her stability? I tried dating. Once. A nice guy from work asked me to coffee. But sitting across from him, all I could think about was how Derek used to look at me the way this man was looking at me now. How easily that look had transferred to someone else. How meaningless it all was. I stopped. I can't trust my own judgment anymore. If I couldn't see what was happening in my own house, with my own sister, how can I trust myself to choose a partner? My parents still see Sarah. Still see Derek. They have to, they say, because of the grandchildren. Family dinners happen without me now. Emma comes home talking about how Grandma made her favorite cookies and Aunt Sarah helped her pick out a new dress. I'm being erased from my own family story. Replaced by the woman who destroyed it. Work became impossible. Everyone knew. Small town, big news. The whispers in the break room. The pitying looks from people who used to ask about my weekend plans. I requested a transfer to the branch an hour away. Longer commute, but at least I can buy groceries without running into people who watch my life explode. Some nights, after the kids go back to Derek's, I sit in this house that's too big and too quiet and wonder if I'm losing my mind. If maybe I was the problem. If maybe I was a bad wife, a bad sister, a bad mother, and everyone was just too polite to tell me. But then I remember the phone bill. 3,000 text messages. 6 months of lies. The overnight bag Sarah brought to my house the day my marriage ended. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't paranoid. I just trusted people who didn't deserve it. The worst part isn't the loneliness. It's not even losing half my time with my kids. It's knowing that Emma and Luke will grow up thinking this is normal. That adults lie to each other. That families can just rearrange themselves when convenient. Derek and Sarah got engaged last month. Emma told me, excited because she gets to be a flower girl. My baby is going to walk down the aisle scattering petals for the man who destroyed her family and the woman who helped him do it. I used to think the worst thing that could happen to a marriage was growing apart. Falling out of love slowly. I thought betrayal meant a stranger, coworker, someone from outside your life. I never imagined it would be the person who knew my husband's coffee order because she'd been to our house 100 times. The person who knew exactly how to hurt me because she'd watched me be vulnerable my entire life. If you suspect something, trust yourself. If your gut is telling you something is wrong, listen to it. Don't let people convince you you're being paranoid when you notice your spouse texting someone too much, staying out too late, changing their routine. And if that someone is your sister, your best friend, someone you love and trust completely, pay attention anyway. Because the people who can hurt you the most are the ones who know exactly where to aim the knife. I lost my husband, my sister, half my time with my kids, and my faith in my own judgment all in one afternoon. All because I trusted people who were planning my destruction while I made them dinner and braided their hair and believed their lies. Don't be me. Trust your instincts, even when everyone tells you you're wrong. Especially then.